What's good, everybody? It's your boy, Perry Randle the third, and we're back with another conversation. Real Talk with PR3. We right back at it. We took a little hiatus for the holiday season, but we're right back at it, and I'm very excited for the guest that I have today. But first and foremost, I wish everybody well. I hope that everybody has smiled today, and I hope that everybody is excited for the Thanksgiving on Thursday. That's one of my favorite holidays. And right before we're gonna celebrate with a convo. This guy that I have today, he's well connected and well respected, and that is why I really admire him and why we set up this conversation. His name is Chris Henderson. If you don't know about him, you're gonna find out today. So it should be a lot of fun. We're just waiting on him to join. Um, he is a big video game person, big into sneakers, into NBA, just all of that. So I think it's gonna be really good with me and him, chopping it up. But if you guys have any questions, be sure to drop them in the chat. You never know, we might be able to get to one of them. Instagram, they limit conversations to 1 hour on here, so I can't be long winded. I can't be like one of those pastors in the church. I can't be long winded. I got to keep it short. So we're just waiting on him to join. I see Ennis Cantor reposted your art piece. Hey, that's a big shout out right there. I ain't mad at you. Keep on grinding. Just keep on grinding. Let me see. I see my boy Steve Walls. Hey, everybody, go follow Steve Walls. If you from Kansas City or not, go follow Steve Walls and his team. They be putting out some great work out there. Let me see. Hey man, if you smile today, put a smile in the chat, one of them little smile emojis while we're waiting on Chris Henderson. Yes, sir, Steve Walls. Yes, sir. Okay, we got one smile, two smiles. Okay, that's what I like to see. Let me see. Let me see. Okay, three smiles. There we go. There we go. There's SeeHendo. I was trying my best to hold everybody off, but he's in here now. Let's get to him. Let me longer man. Chris, how you doing,
Oh,
man?
yeah, what's good, man? What's good?
Hey,
Glad to be
I,
on, man.
hey, man. You look. Hey, I see the clean lineup. That's one of the first things I look to see when I have a guest on. You got a clean lineup and everything, man.
Yeah, man. Every Saturday, man, gotta get a cut. So yeah,
I ain't
it's
mad at you.
yeah, man.
But I just want to say thank you first and foremost for hopping on here today. I know you either on the game, working hard and doing some interviews, or you either cleaning some sneakers. You doing something. So I appreciate you taking the time to hop on here with me. Uh, but first and foremost, before we get started, I gotta ask you what I ask everybody, and is that's have you smiled today?
Oh man, I smile all the time, man. Every morning you wake up, nothing's guaranteed, man. So yeah, man, I just enjoy life, man. I enjoy positivity. I've been looking at what you do, man. I enjoy what you do, man. So just keep up the good work, man. Positivity always is a big thing for me.
I appreciate that, man. But for those who don't know, this is Chris Henderson, SeeHendo. Go follow him on YouTube, subscribe. Let's run it up for my boy SeeHendo. But this is Media Personality, Sneakerhead Supreme, Video Game Extraordinaire. My boy SeeHendo. He's done interviews with Kevin Durant, LeBron James, Damian Lillard. My favorite is Damian Lillard in the league right now.
That's a good dude. That's my dog. Yeah.
Vince Carter, Steph and Seth Curry, all of them. Hey, you are well connected and well respected. And like you said about me, I appreciate what you do. Uh, I tell my mom it's kind of like a trick that you have to play on yourself because like you see other people grinding and it motivates you, but you're never really in competition with them. But you just
Nah.
really appreciate what they do because you understand you can see the same love that you have for your craft. You see other people having it, so it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah,
But
man.
go ahead.
No, I was gonna say indeed, man. Like I enjoy seeing other, like especially young black men like yourself, and be able to get out there and do things, man. Because it's not enough of us black men and women, out there doing what we do. And
Mhm.
I think it's a great thing, man. And like I said, it's never been competition because, like, matter of fact, a guy that I know very well, I've been knowing for years. He goes by the sneaker reporter, and like me and him been knowing each other years. And when people see us together, they're like shocked because they're like, ain't y'all supposed to be like we're like the Woj and Shams of these things in these NBA locker rooms, and I'm like, man, that's like one of my closest. He's like family to me. So like, a lot of times it's just iron sharpens iron kind of thing. Like, so we enjoy it, man. But I'm blessed, man. Like really
They,
blessed.
they be treating you like you Tupac and Biggie or something. Like y'all about to just go at it.
Man, it'd be crazy, man, because like sometimes like it can be frustrating. Like you can have a bad night where you didn't get a certain interview or whatever, and you could tweet something out, and then people think you directing it to one person. It's like, man, nah, I probably text him or he'll text me and say, man, I had a bad night, man. What you think about this? And I just love it, man, because at the end of the day, it's a blessing, man. Because like I said, it's just the relationships that you build, man. Like the famous quote is, everybody can eat. There's enough.
Mhm.
There's this big buffet, and all of us can eat. And you
Yeah.
don't have to all, like, none of us are the same. So I just I ride with that, and like I said, I'm all about positivity. Anything I can do to help out someone, I'm all for it.
Man, I feel you on that. But let's move right along. Before I did this interview with you, my friend asked me, "How did you find out about this guy?" And I found out about you a couple weeks ago, so not too long ago. But the viral 2K21 pictures that you posted.
Yeah, 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 man. That, like I said, like luckily, I get the chance to get 2K a little bit earlier than everyone, and yeah, man, I enjoy video games. Like you see it behind me.
Yeah.
Obviously the PlayStation. I'm not. The Xbox is right next to it somewhere. But yeah, like I said, I enjoy video games, man. And like every year I've been doing this, posting like screenshots, give people a feel of it, especially now with next gen. And like I said, I know a lot of people from different companies and stuff. And as soon as I post the pictures, I'm getting emails. Bleach Report, Complex, all of them are like, "Hey, can we use these?" I'm like, "Sure, it's just screenshots." Like it's no biggie for me. So, but it's dope, man, and it's good to see that someone like from our field is like not just about sports.
Right.
Because like at the end of the day, the issue we run into is like they want you to just talk about sports,
Yeah.
and we'll get into that conversation. How do players adapt and stuff? But like, I love video games and sneakers. I love
Hmm.
music as well. Like music is like one of my favorite things. So yeah, man. I'm a big 2K person. I'm grinding in the city right now. Look, man. I've been grinding for the last 2 weeks, man, in the city, man. Like my PlayStation person's at 90, my Xbox person's at 88. So I'm
Oh
trying to keep
man.
the two together, man. And like I said, yeah, man. Everybody can hit me up. My gamer tag is the same as the SeeHendo. So like, it's nothing changes on any console.
Hey, well, when God blesses me to get the opportunity to get one of the consoles, I'll make sure I add you. All right.
Oh man, yeah, that's another thing too, because I almost didn't get any of them. And like I said, I got lucky. Like I never get lucky on these sneaker raffles, but some odd reason I looked up on Amazon on one, and then I actually literally camped outside for the Xbox for pre-order. So yeah, man, I'm just like, yeah, it's crazy. I can get the game, but I can't get the console. So I had to do
It,
all that to get the console, and I was panicking the whole week. So
it
yeah, man, it's
sound
a
it
blessing.
sound like it sound like you need to get a bot to go ahead and
Man,
comment.
Man, I got friends with them, and I'm trying to be good about this. And like, I get it. The body's the hustle, man, but I'm trying not to go that route because you got to practice what you preach, right? So
Right.
like that's the thing. I'm trying to practice that, but man, look, it's gonna come to that pretty soon, man. Like,
Practice that integrity. I ain't
yeah,
mad
man,
at you.
yeah, man.
But so like people always ask me, are you going to interview this person? Are you going to interview that person? I'm like, I want to make sure that if I do it, it's going to be because I truly have a connection with this person.
Yeah,
So when I was on your page, I'm looking through to make sure that this is going to be a good conversation. I
mhm.
saw WrestleMania 2000 on the Nintendo 64,
Oh,
and
yeah.
then I saw the LeBron James 16, his 16 sneaker in the Martin version. I was like,
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
he got good taste, and then he know a little bit about that WrestleMania 2000. So I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, I gotta set this up. But he already touched a little bit about the consoles. First and foremost, a little side note, man, how can I get better at shooting on 2K? I feel like I feel like my prime is over.
Man, my jumper, bro, dude. I created I thought I created the perfect shooter. My shooter, you know how they give you all these things like comparisons. Like I got compared to Klay Thompson, Chris Mullin, and like I think Jimmy Butler. It was like I'm a three-way score on both of these things, right? Three
Yeah.
level scoring. I can't hit a jump shot to save my life still. Everything's like in the 90s. So yeah, I just go to the rack, man. Like it is what it is. Like look like our homeboys that they do extra stuff, and I kind of just sit back and I just play my little defensive role, man. I'm getting to that point now in life where I'm like I'm not gonna get mad because it's frustrating, especially now because I'm like man I gotta shoot it now. Nah, it looks good when I'm playing computer, but then when I get online it's like a disaster. So yeah, man, I don't know, man, to tell you like it's just figure out who you can play with on the game and take their jumper. Like I took Kevin Durant's jumper, and
Yeah.
now I still can't shoot.
I feel like a young Shaquille O'Neal when I'm out there, man. I be really trying.
Yeah, man.
Uh, but aside with the gaming, how do you balance gaming with being productive in other areas of your life? Because like you said, you close with Damian Lillard. I've seen the interview with Kevin Durant and Steph Curry, all these other guys. So clearly you're being productive in other areas of your life, but you're also a gamer too. And I know that's a popular recreational activity amongst the fellas. You know, that's self-care for me. It's like getting a haircut. So how do
Yeah.
you balance that with the rest of your life?
Man, it's crazy because people are like, how do you do like I mean like as the last couple of weeks I've really been playing the game a lot because it's the new consoles. But for me, a lot of my interviews do involve video games. So if
Right.
you notice, a lot of the players enjoy video games. They enjoy those things. So it's easy for me to talk video games with them because a lot of the NBA guys don't play 2K, but they like to play Call of Duty, right? Or they play
Mhm.
Madden. So a lot of times a lot of my interviews are involved with video games. Like I try to make that a thing. Like one of my hobbies is going to be a part of something that I actually do for his work. Yeah, it's tough, man, because like right now I'm lucky because there's no NBA season. I don't know if I would be able to play at all if the NBA season was here and we're able to go to the stadium and the arena like I always do. So I would say right now, man, like it's just I try to pace myself. Like luckily, like my wife, she gets a kick out of it because she likes seeing me get mad at the games all the time. She thinks it's funny. So like that's a cool thing. She's not a gamer, but she enjoys like just watching it. It's so funny to
Yeah.
her because it's so intense. But yeah, man, like I said, I involve when I do game. I try to involve a lot of different things. Like yeah, I'm gaming to have fun, but at the same time, it's sort of like, hey, I want to have a conversation with Dame. Hey,
Right.
dog, let me talk about your 2K player real quick. What's wrong with him? And then they'll go into this rant about why they players are terrible. So it's like I'm getting content as I'm talking, and it also gives me a space of not just thinking about because a lot of times my favorite interviews or my best interviews are freestyle. See, I
Yeah.
try to tell people a lot of time, man, when I freestyle my interviews, it comes off of naturally, and I don't want to sound scripted.
Right.
And like when I did the Kevin Durant interview, like me and KD were just talking. Like we
Mhm.
were just like we'll talk a lot, and then all of a sudden I said, "Hey, let's go on live YouTube." And he was
Right.
like, "Cool." And man, our conversation went live. So like, a lot of times it gives me that sort of space to kind of just relax, chill out. Music is my other thing, but definitely video games, man. Like, yeah, man. Like, because a lot of times I can get. That's another thing. Like a lot of those guys, we talk on those, like on the PlayStation chat, the party chats and stuff, and it's pretty cool, man, to see them outside of their element because they're us. Like a lot of people don't understand this, man. Like when you get in parties with some of these NBA, NFL baseball guys, they're literally us. And a
Mhm.
lot of people don't believe me. I'm like, dude, they got the same struggles we got. There are some guys I know right now in the NBA that have hit me up. Hey, man, is there a way I can get a PlayStation console? And you would think like I'd be like, oh man, you should have one at least or two. But yeah,
Yeah.
man, it's a big deal, man. So yeah, man, it's easy right now because I don't have as much going on. Like I'll do an interview here and there, like a live Zoom or whatever. But when the NBA season comes around, I'm about to make a decision. Well, I'm not gonna make a decision. I got to be at work, so that's just one thing. So yeah,
But now you hit it right on the head. Is just
yeah,
that a lot of these players or a lot of people they see these players as just players, not realizing that these players were people before they were ever touched a basketball. I mean, no, except for Kyrie Irving, that boy been dribbling since he was in the womb. But other
Amazing.
than that, like these are people just like us. They got the same interests
Hmm.
or whatever. So is that like the emphasis that you put on your interviews to show that this player is a person, and let's show the person side of this player.
Yeah, man, it's about comfort. A lot of players they gravitate to me because of comfort.
Hmm.
And like they know when they come to me, I'm not gonna do a TMZ interview where I'm gonna talk about anything controversial. Like, a lot of times,
Right.
like it's just crazy because like when I interviewed Kevin Durant, there was a lot going on with like comments that Kyrie said and he said, and I could have went that route, right? But I never do. And like it's a comfort thing. And it's like I want them to be able to instead of it being so much of an interview, I want it to be more of a conversation.
Right.
So like as if you were talking in my spot, this is what we're gonna talk about. And it's and in terms of that.
Hmm.
Yeah, you gotta have that camaraderie because the thing is this, man, like players know. Like I
Hmm.
just had I think my last interview was Jamal Crawford and me and Jamal have been knowing each other for years. And one thing Jamal said that just really hit home for me was like, one thing, Hendo, and he said it just like this. He said, players around the league talk. And when he said that, I was just like, hmm. He said, you're very respected amongst NBA players, even guys that hate doing interviews. They know when they come to Dallas, they got to come talk to you.
Hmm.
So, for me, it's just a blessing, man. And like, any advice I give to anyone, just be yourself, man. Because a lot of times you see guys on TV, like, look, Stephen A. Smith is amazing. Those guys, Skip Bayless, Shannon Sharp, they do a great job at what they do. But be your own person.
Right.
Like the way we're talking right now, be the same way with them. And I promise you, it will get you far.
Yeah, and I think that's what
Yeah.
I don't want to speak for a lot of reporters, but I do see that often is that they confuse the idea of getting information with what you said is giving the sense of comfort to where you're going to get certain information because that player trusts you.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes that's confused amongst the media. But that's
Yeah.
why I appreciate what you do and just focusing on bringing out the person aspect out of the player. I think that's very important.
Yeah,
But
man. Yeah,
go ahead,
man.
go
It's
ahead.
it's dope, man. And shout out to my guy Taylor Hearn who plays for the Rangers. He's in the chat right now, man. The picture for the Texas Rangers is just a good example, man. Like I forget sometimes that a lot of these guys are athletes
Right.
because like we'll just talk and like we have fun. Like I like to have fun. I'm all about positivity and putting people in like situations that hey, it may not be the perfect element. Like I said, man, there's been times where a guy went on national TV and cussed out a media person. Then they come to Dallas the next day, and I'm like, oh man, they're not gonna want to talk. They're not gonna want to talk. And then as soon as I get in the locker room, it's like everything is forgotten.
Right.
And like I said, at the end of the day, man, personality is a big deal. Like the way I'm now, I'm like the same way with them. They'll tell you, like nothing changes. And like I enjoy it, man. It's all about respect too, because they have a job. It's a
Hmm.
9 to 5. It's a 9 to 5 for them. Um, they have families. They want respect too, and it's not like they want to be treated as celebrities. These guys, I tell you what, man, these athletes don't want to be treated like celebrities. It's weird. I've been in restaurants with some of these guys. I've been in like places with them. It's awkward when you're sitting there eating dinner, and all of a sudden here comes like 10 people walking up. Let me get this autograph, man. I'm sitting there like, dog, I can only imagine if I went out to eat with my wife how that would go. Like that
Yeah.
would be. I'd probably be the one, to go crazy. But at the same time, I understand fans. They see them different, and like, like I said, what you're doing, man, like the path that you're taking, man, you're gonna be there. I think that you got the opportunity to do more than I've ever done because, like, the thing is this, man. Like, a lot of times it's more about like starting it up. Like now we're in this world where sports is more about who can get on Twitter first and make the big news.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people like don't realize this. When I got KD to actually, I didn't know he was gonna walk on this video. Like he
Hmm.
had just got out his cast, and everybody's thinking he's still in the cast, and was on this little cart thing that you got to wheel around. He started walking on my video, and it goes viral. I
Yeah.
wake up. I did that on a Friday night. I woke up Saturday morning. My phone had over 110 text messages, like 50 missed calls. ESPN, CNN, people reaching out like, "Hey, can we use this?" I'm like, "I don't care." Like,
Yeah.
yeah, just say my name. Just say, "Hey, Chris Henderson did this," and I think it's just cool that me and my wife are at a restaurant, and then NBA The Jump comes on, and my video pops up, and
Yeah.
the waiter looks over and says, "Oh," he says, "Wait a minute." He's like, "That looks like you on TV," and I'm like, yeah, that's me. At first I told him no, and I said, yeah, that's me. He was like, holy crap, I watched that video last night. He said, you sounded for me. I was like, yeah, man. He said, what are you doing here? And I'm like, man, I like to eat food, man. What you talking about? What I'm
Yeah.
doing here, man? Like, I'm hungry, man. So, yeah, man, like I said, man, just be yourself. Admiration is a big deal, man. Like, it's a lost cause in the media world. You know, I've
Mhm.
been in locker rooms where I've seen media get into it with players, and like the players say, hey, I don't want to talk about contract, talk about everything else. And what happens on the first question? Well, you're still in the contract dispute, and then all of a sudden the interview goes south, and then they walk away. And like I said, just be yourself. If you like sneakers, you like video games, talk about it with them. It ain't
Mhm.
just about me doing it. Like I tell people all the time, it's a kid that's in Dallas now, and he's like, man, I love sneakers too, but I don't want to do it because you. I'm like, bro, come on, man, really? Like,
Right.
really? Well, I wasn't the first one to do this. Like a lot of people sort of throw me in that little thing because like you never really see it that much. But I'm like, man, I watched guys like Russ Bingston on Slam magazine. I watched, Scoop and all those guys do their thing with sneakers and stuff. So yeah, man, like you learn and like
Right.
you try to adapt to it. So just keep doing what you're doing, man.
I think the beauty of it is just like you said, just the naturalness of those
Yeah.
interviews. Like it's gonna like the viral stuff, it'll come out. If you're trying to do it premeditated, then it's gonna
Mm-hmm.
sound scripted and it's gonna sound bad. And then you're gonna also lose that rapport with that player because
Yep.
then like other outlets they're gonna try to twist it up and all this type of
Mm-hmm.
stuff. But that's the beauty of it. And you said it, be yourself. Um, you find yourself just loving it and it doesn't even feel like work just
Yeah.
because you like you say you're talking about what you talk about when you're not on camera, video games,
All the
sneakers,
time.
and it's just easy. And I think that's something that I learned at a young age. I'm very thankful I learned that at a young age is, just do what you love. And if you really work hard at it, then I know that the money is going to come. All
Yeah.
that other stuff will come. But just do what you love and you'll be all right. But we're gonna go
Yeah.
ahead and move on. Is that your brand, which we mentioned earlier, SeeHendo?
Yeah.
Uh, what's been the process of starting that up, and when did that come to you? Like I'm gonna use this, and I'm gonna go here with it. Tell me a little bit about that.
Okay, so funny story is like so still to this day sorry about that. I do a
You're
radio
good.
show. I do a radio show in Dallas with two other gentlemen. We it's called Most Sports Talk. That's where like I started covering the NBA at. Like all of us cover the NBA together mutually with that. We all attend every game. And it was to the point where we were getting a lot of traffic on the website. Like we wanted to strictly be sports. So this is about 2009, 2010, and I just remember the host of the show was like, you need to branch and do something more because it's too much going on. Like you got a guy who likes movies on our thing, and there's me who likes sneakers and video games. There's another guy who's a comic book movie and certain kind of things guy, and like it's just a lot of content on one channel. It's too much, and then you want to individualize everybody. So like for years, everybody had been calling me. So it's funny because like one of my favorite songs is the Outkast song, Spodioti. It's like on the Equipment Eye album. It's the intro, and
Hmm.
like the reference Hollywood Code always came up. I met Big Boy one time and it was crazy. I told him I said I wanted to go by Hollywood Code. He's like, "That's cool with me." And like, he said it so nonchalant. I was like, "Okay." And then they got kind of old because people were calling me Hollywood. Like a lot of people to this day still call me Hollywood, and I hate it. So like
Wasn't
now
that
what I
your
do,
PlayStation or wasn't that your username?
that was my username. So like a lot of the videos that a lot of people pull up from the past will say Hollywood Code 85. And it's
Hmm.
like and like I had to explain to them, yeah, that was a weird time in my life, man. I don't know why I thought it was a cool name. I didn't think too much of it, but then like I started noticing like it was so funny. I want to say about 2011, around that time, right when the Mavs won the championship, they were playing Chicago Bulls, and this is the first time I met Mark Cuban. And Mark Cuban, I said, "Hey, my name is Chris Henderson, blah blah blah. I want to introduce myself. I mean, this is Mark Cuban, right?"
All right.
Um, and I remember the next time I went to the next game, he called me Hendo.
Hmm.
And I had never heard anybody in their life call me Hendo. My name's Chris Henderson. And I was like, wait a minute, that sounds cool. Hendo? Somebody even called me that. So I ran with it. And then like the SeeHendo thing is like, everything I do is visually. Like I used
Right.
to write. Like I wrote for the Dallas Weekly. I used to write. And like I was to the point where I was like, I'm a visual guy. Like I like people to see the moment versus like reading it because like our attention span is like this generation, we're bad about that. We don't want to
Hmm.
read. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, when I build stuff like tables and like my wife comes in with stuff, I look at YouTube and figure it out. Like, so the
Yeah.
reading it. So I stuck with it and I made it SeeHendo and like it's pretty cool. Like during this whole time, I was working at Sneaker Watch, so like
Mhm.
Sneaker Watch was a big deal. If you go to the videos on Sneaker Watch, the athlete interviews, me and like I said, the guy Sneaker Reporter, we were tag teaming on interviews, and we would go. He's in Oklahoma City interviewing people, and I'm in Dallas interviewing people, and like you would see Hollywood Code on there, so everybody couldn't tell who it was. And then when I changed SeeHendo, that's when I started doing my own thing. And like, yeah, man, it's been crazy ever since. Like I said, I still do the Most Sports Talk show, and we cover the game. We do our part for that. But then when it comes to the individual interviews, it's like on my platform. And yeah, man, like I like it's cool because everybody calls me Hendo, so I like it. It's dope and it's enjoyable, man. Because like I've done so much, like I forget sometimes who I've interviewed. Because like a lot of times people are like, man, I forgot. Like Josh Richardson got traded to the Mavericks, right?
Yeah.
And I did a video with him about 2 years ago, and they played the Mavericks in Luka's first game versus them in Miami at the time. He was talking about Luka, how great
Mhm.
Luka was, and now he's his teammate. Somebody
Right.
found that interview in the archives, and they're like, "Hey, man, you interviewed him about Luka," and then it's a big deal. So like, I forget the work that I do, man, but it's enjoyable, man. Like I said, SeeHendo's been running now. I want to say close to 7 years. I've been doing the sports covering and like video game stuff about 10 years, but yeah, 7 years for SeeHendo for sure.
No, that sounds dope. I like it because it's the
Yeah.
double entendre, like you said, and then
Yeah.
like your first name starts with a C. So
Yeah,
C
so
and
it's C. Yeah, and it's like C, it's SEE. A lot of people are like, oh, that's dope. And like a lot of people like, I don't care how you say it, because a lot of people say Hindu or whatever. I don't care. But like a lot of people sort of like you got it off the rip, you like Hindo. Like a lot of people say Hindo. I mean, I don't care. Like as long as you just call me Hindu, it doesn't matter. But yeah, I like how people do it now. They like Hindo. Like it's so weird now when I hear it, it kind of freaks me out. Because I'll be out in public and people like Hindo. I got my little niece and nephew and they're like Hindo, and I'm like, hey, don't do that. And I'm like, oh man, that's kind of weird. But yeah, like I'm still getting used to the fact that people actually enjoy my channel. Like that's the weird thing. I know it sounds crazy, but a lot of times it's hard for me to like sort of grasp that idea that people actually watch me and then they know me by face. Cause like a lot of my videos, I'm never in the video. Like
Right.
until recently, if you go look at my history on my channel and Sneaker Watch and even the Most Sports Talk channels, you never saw my face.
Hmm.
Like you would have to like guess it was me. And then, like I said, just things have changed with COVID and being locked down. Where I'm getting more on camera. I'm getting used to it, and yeah, man. So yeah, everybody kind of recognizes you, especially here. It's kind of cool when I go to sneaker stores. I mean, I have to tell them, man, I need free shoes. So I'm paying for them since y'all like me so much.
Right. But
Yeah,
not, but all that goes back to what you said earlier about being yourself. Like if you would have stuck
yeah.
with the Hollywood code name, like that's
Would have
not
been weird.
right. It's not you. It ain't got your stamp on it. But now that you
Yeah,
see Hendo, it's got you on it.
yeah, man.
Hendo.
Yeah, man. When Mark, like I said, man, it's cool, man. When you get a dude that's a billionaire,
Right.
and this dude is like I tell people all the time. People ask me all the time, how is he? I said, I forget that it's Mark Cuban. I swear to you, I talk to this dude a lot,
Yeah.
and like when I say a lot, it's just conversations about life. Like his advice is always strong. Like that he's a human, and he's
Hmm.
probably he's probably the one of the most human, like rich, like people I've ever met. Like a lot of those guys that are in his category, his tax bracket aren't like that. And for him to like, he graces my channel all the time. Every time I see him, it's like, we're buddy buddy, and people like, oh my god, like the other day, I tweeted out like a joke. I was like, hey, it really wasn't a joke. I was like, hey, this is before the Mavs traded for Josh Richardson. I was like, hey, the Mavs are going to make moves. We got to trust Donnie Nelson and Mark Cuban. And like, I left my phone down, came back, my phone is like blowing up on Twitter. The notifications crazy to the point where Twitter's saying, hey, you got so many notifications. And I'm thinking like, man, it can't be because of that tweet. Well, it was Mark. Mark asked me
Yeah.
for my Venmo, and I almost told him, I'm like, look, man, you want to send me a couple million, that's on you. Like,
Go
like, hey,
ahead.
go ahead, go ahead. That would change my life. Like, but Mark is just a great dude, man. And like I
All
said,
right.
it's a blessing, man, that I'm able to like talk to these guys. Cause it's so weird, bro. Like I sit here and watch ESPN all the time, and I forget. Like I'll sit there and it's so funny when they talk about these players. Like they'll talk about Dame, they talk about CJ, they'll talk about KD, and I talk to these guys a lot.
Yeah.
And none of these stories kind of meet up, and it's
Mm.
like, what are they talking about? Like KD never said that, and I'd be like getting up, and KD's like, here we go again, and it's like it's so weird, man. But like, yeah, man, I love it, man. Like I said, I would love to just have everybody on the journey. It'd be a great thing.
Yeah. And I told my mom this, and we kind of touched on it a little bit
Mm-hmm.
earlier. I want to see what you think. But I
Mm-hmm.
told my mom this. is that there's no such thing as a celebrity. That's a
No.
made up thing. Like there's no criteria that you have to fit to become a celebrity. You just it's just something that's kind of accepted by people, and that's what
No.
makes it fake to me. Like these are just people, and that's what you see whenever someone like you or someone like me will interview them. You'll see like, man, that's just a person. Like I did an interview with Marcus Spears last month.
Okay. That is my dog. You
He,
know,
he, go ahead.
that's no, I was gonna say that's my dog, man. Marcus Spears has done a lot in his life, and I am most happy for him because, like, man, I got pictures of us before any of us was doing anything, and like, and now I can't post those pictures anymore because it's hilarious. Because
Yeah,
like we didn't like, you never would have thought that day me and him we were at a bowling alley hanging out. I never would have thought he would be the ESPN guy.
right.
Like he's the next thing. Like I tell people all the time, Marcus Spears is coming, y'all. Like he's coming. Like
Yeah,
he's coming, man. It's a big deal. So yeah, man. Like for you to get Marcus, like that's even crazier. I've been knowing Marcus for 15 years. Marcus ain't never sat down with me once, and he just sat down with you. I'm not down with. I'm hating now because I'm like, man, Marcus, you. And for you, that's dope. Like, look,
yeah,
man, you do Marcus, man. Next thing you know, you got Stephen A. Smith.
right,
And, that's gonna change your life. Like, it doesn't matter who the person is. I learned
right,
that the hard way. Like, I can interview the 12th man on the team. If he says something great, it'll go bigger than the first man on the team.
right. And
So yeah,
and
man.
here's something. My mom always told me that you're always one person away from that next person.
Oh
It's
man,
crazy.
you're one person away from being viral. Like
Yeah,
you're one word. Like I learned that several times on videos I've done. Like you never know the one video that you think is not gonna go viral, it goes viral. Or the
it's
one thing that
crazy.
you say or tweet, or like if a player tweets you back. Like I remember I made a joke, and I never thought in a wild year. Like I knew like one day I could be on ESPN, like CNN. I've been on these networks, right? But the
Hmm.
one time that caught me off guard for real was that was a thing somebody posted like what's the best city for basketball, like basketball mecca city wise. And I tagged KD. I said, well, KD, I want to see how unbiased you are. He said, oh, here you go, don't do that. He put LOL. I went to my Instagram. I'm on Shade Room. Like I never thought like, bro, that was like I told somebody, man, like I've been on ESPN, but I never would have thought I was gonna be on Shade Room.
Right.
Shade Room, like man, that was crazy to me, man. Like I'm like, bro, I'm a sports reporter that I cover music too and stuff like that, but Shade Room, oh man, it
Yeah.
was crazy.
Yeah, like you say, it's always just the ones that you not even thinking about, and that's the beauty of it is the naturalness that we talked about earlier. Is that you just flowing, and the next thing you know, it's crazy. Like I was making these videos earlier this year during the pandemic, talking, just really just feeling my thoughts, and I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
the best moves since 2000. I was born in '98, so I don't want to be lying and go back too far. So I'm like, let me just do the moves since 2000. And one of the moves I said was Dwayne Wade Euro. That's one of the best moves in
Oh yeah,
since
yeah,
2000. And I go
yeah,
to bed. Next thing I know, phone just blowing up. Dwayne Wade retweeted. I'm like, what? What? I did not
yeah.
expect that.
Yeah, it's life changing, man. It can make or break you. I've been on the good side and bad side of that because people like to ask me questions, and like when you're friends with certain guys, like I hate getting asked who's better, LeBron or KD, because I'm like, oh boy, like really, like I throw out the most generic answer, like, look, y'all know KD is 7 foot freak and LeBron's a freak, so just those two are 1A 1B to me. But yeah, man, you can be on the good side or bad side because like I had a relationship, I still do with Dennis Smith Jr., who plays for the Knicks now. Me and him were very close when he was in Dallas. And when he got traded for KP, of course, I'm all ecstatic for the trade because you're getting
Right.
Kristaps Porzingis. But then like I go tweet out like, and I forget, I go tweet out, oh man, the Mavs got a steal in this trade, and then not realizing, dang, I just said my homeboy ain't really worth nothing. Like I had to think about that, and I rephrased it. I was like, I didn't mean, but at the end of the day, it's Kristaps Porzingis. So
Right.
yeah, man, it's yeah, man. You never know what you can say, man. Like I can make a joke sometime, like or post a video. Like I remember posting Kim Griffey Jr. home run one time, and like all these ESPN people start retweeting MLB retweets. I'm like, oh god. I'm like, okay, that's weird. Like it's always the most random things, man. And like that'll take you far
Yeah.
because like when you start getting credited for things, man, and like you're gonna learn this, man. You coming up in the game, like that is the best thing ever. When somebody says, well, who's credited you before?
Yeah.
And I never thought about that. And shout out to the people that manage my stuff. Shout out to DTD people, my family. They kind of let that be known. Because like for years, I just knew I was gonna be on these things, and I've been on so many things. Like Chris, you gotta start making that be a known thing that
Yeah.
they use your stuff. Because like I take it as like, hey, it's cool they use my stuff, but that's a big deal. So
Right.
you gonna be there one day, man. Like one day I'm gonna be looking up. Well, Perry Randle said this. I'm like, oh, okay, so Perry said that. All right, cool. All right, cool. I'm gonna put my hoodie back on. I'm like, all right, I know what's going on here. So yeah,
Yeah,
man,
man.
it just keep doing what you're doing, man.
I appreciate that. But your mantra is working at
Oh man,
WRKN. My mantra, I got it on my hoodie. It's reversed because it's a front camera, but it's vision over sight. Because
yeah,
I'm legally blind in my right eye, but
okay,
also just in general in life, that's the lesson that I've learned. Like you're gonna deal with a lot of stuff. So as long
yeah,
as you got the right mindset, you're gonna overcome it for sure.
yeah, yeah.
So back to your mantra with working, how did you come up with that and what does that mean to you?
Man, so working actually is not. So the funny thing about this is this. So I have one of my, and it's weird how things work in life. So a guy that I grew up with, like literally grew up with, we were like neighbors. We grew up together. We played sports, video games, all this stuff together. Tawan Hall, he has this brand called Dimes to Dollars,
Mm-hmm.
and he had these shirts that said "Working" because he's always on the move. And I was like, man, I'm always on the move. But I remember one day I wore a shirt, and this is years ago. I wore a shirt to a game. Mark Stein comes up and said, and Mark Stein is, like I said, another one of those guys, big time. He
Right.
comes up to me and said, man, every time I see you, you're working. And he pointed at my shirt. And I was like, oh. So I just started hashtagging working, and like, yeah, it just went on to life on its own. Now, like, people, when they see it, or they see me, they kind of just put working in. Like I said, in our world where journalism is more like you got to be on the go. Like right now, we all can get a text at the same time saying such got traded. We all need to probably hang up and start tweeting this, right?
Yeah.
So it's just for me, man. Like even when I'm not actually working, like I could be playing the video game, or like if I'm playing the video game and say if one of my good friends, Langston Galloway for the Pistons, he's a free agent now. What if we're on the video game? He said, "Oh man, I just got a call from such and such. I'm putting a sign there." I'm working at the same time trying to get information.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, like, working is it's a lifestyle. You understand it, like what you're
Yeah.
doing right now. That's what made me gravitate to you, man, because like, people do their research. It don't take me much to go see what you do. Like I could go see it. I can see what everybody does. And like, it's dope what you're doing. And like to me, it's a lifestyle.
Yeah.
Because even when you're not working, you can be out to eat, but you're thinking about, man, what's gonna be my next video? What's my
Yeah.
next interview? Like I can be sitting there with my wife in the movies. I'm thinking about, can I interview this person?
Yeah.
Like that's in the movie. So yeah, man, working is just a mentality, man. It's lifestyle involved in that. It's everything, man. So we ran with it. Actually, I ran with it because like it was more of a one-off for him. And
Mm-hmm.
then people started just like, man, it's a thing now where people just love using the hashtag now, and they tag me in this. I was like, okay, cool. And then like it got a life of its own. And he was like, he came to me, he was like, look, dude, I made this as a one-off. He said, but you probably need to run with this because
Yeah.
this is you. Because when we think of working, it's you. Like you go pull up the hashtag working and that WRKN on Instagram or Twitter, you'll see everything that's involved with me, people doing it. So yeah, man, working is this is cool, man. And like I said, I tell people all the time they working. That's motivation. Like I'm gonna be looking at your work. I'm gonna post in the comments working. Like you know what I mean? Like it's motivation for all of us. Like it's your brand. Like that's dope. Like it relates to you. So when
Mm-hmm.
people see you, like you got a vision. Like you do. You actually have a true vision, and like your vision is to like be in a different realm than all of us, and that's dope to me, man. Like it's hard to find people that have a vision because everybody wants to be famous
Right.
and nobody wants to work, and that's just the weird thing to me. Like I see a lot of reporters every day. They want to be famous. They want to be on ESPN. I don't care about that. Like I'd rather be the guy that you don't know about, but then all of a sudden every once in a while a video pops up and you making money for it, or you could be making money for it or whatever. But I don't want to be famous. I want to be known as the guy that just worked hard, man, and he got to this level, not having to join a big league.
Right.
Like I've never been a part of a bit. Like the biggest company I've been a part of was Sneaker Watch. Vlad TV. So like that was like the biggest company I ever worked for. And of course Dallas Weekly, the local newspaper stuff. But other than that, man, like I'm pretty much been on my own, and I've always said to myself, I'm going to be on my own.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if I want to ever join a big company because I feel like the authenticity.
Yeah.
Like, I think thing I like about you is there's some authenticity there. There's some genuine authenticity. It doesn't look scripted. You look like you really enjoy this. A lot of guys, you could tell, sort of scripted. Like when you watch TV, it just seems like it's like a wrestling match. It's like it's WWE out there, and I don't want to be like that. Like, unfortunately, I like it being chill. Like, I understand they pays the bills, but man, for me, I feel like I sell myself out. I feel like a lot of people sell themselves short because of that, because they become this laughing stock. Like Stephen A. Smith, I've been knowing for a minute. Stephen A. Smith is one of the best writers in Philadelphia, like in sports history. People don't know this. Stephen A. Smith he's an amazing writer for the NBA. He's probably one of the most respected NBA writers I've ever met in my life. And now people see Stephen A. Smith, they think of him as this just loud, on the camera all day, making the jokes. But I mean, I understand he does that for TV, but Stephen A. Smith is one of the most knowledgeable brothers I've ever met. So, like, it's a weird thing, man. So working, man, like, I ain't gonna lie to you, like, I didn't make it up. Like, I ran with it. I swear to you, I made one post and everybody started copying. And then, of course, when you get players to co-sign on it, when players start doing it, that's when you realize. And ever since then, man, we rocked with it, man. So shout out to Don's Dollars, man. Like I said, I ran with it. I don't know if I could ever let it go because, like, we thought about it one day. We're going to retire it. Then it's like, now we can't retire it because everybody's going to keep using it. So it's kind of, and it's motivation for everybody. I don't care if you're not in our field. You go to work every day, man. 9 to 5, you clock in, you working. You're working to get better. So that's how we always look at it.
Right. And my favorite basketball player all the time, because this reminds me of it. My favorite basketball player all the time, Kobe Bryant, said, "Don't watch what I did, watch how I did it." Talking about his work. And that, like you said, if you see how I'm working, you're gonna apply it to whatever you do, and you're gonna start working. And you see the love that I'm displaying with it, whether you're a doctor, whether you're a writer, whether you're a basketball player, it don't matter. As long as you carry yourself in that fashion, in that form, in your craft, then you're gonna be successful no matter what.
Man, and Kobe Bryant, man, like I said, opportunity, rest in peace to Kobe.
Right.
And I didn't have a chance to interview him. That is like, I've never been scared. And people ask me all the time, you ever get scared to talk to these dudes? Like, have you ever got scared? I said, I've only gotten scared once. I've met Michael Jordan. I've met all these dudes. LeBron, KD, all of them. I've never been more intimidated in my life until I met Kobe. And it's so weird because Kobe walks in the locker room, he goes, I'm sitting there. And of course, I got on a pair of Kobe. I got to throw on the Kobe.
Yeah,
Look,
right.
When players come into town, I wear their shoes. It's probably like a cool thing for them too. Like, I'm usually the only one wearing their shoes. So Kobe's in town and I'm wearing the shoes. And I'm sitting there. He's sitting in his locker. He's like this. He's sitting there mad. He looks pissed. And I'm like, I ain't going up to Kobe. You got me messed up. And I remember I was sitting there and he knew. And he looks over and says, yo, what you doing? And I was looking, I turned around, I got scared. I was like, I ain't doing nothing. And he said, you don't want to talk to me? I was like, come on, Kobe. It's just like a weight off my shoulders. He said, I like your shoes, by the way. And he said, what you want to talk about? I said, man, let's talk kicks. And he was like, okay. And I didn't know what to do. I lost all my questions. That was the one time I should have never freestyled. And I did great, though. And he was just like, man, keep doing what you're doing. And, like, Kobe's motivation, man, like, the respect that he has. Like, that was a real tough time for us in the NBA, just the NBA family and sports reporters. I remember going to the game the next day, and it was just, it wasn't real. It wasn't real. Like, especially the fact that a lot of the Maverick players are close to him, like former players and coaches. Like me and Ced Ceballos played with this kid. He saw him come in the league. They were friends. And me and Ced are sitting there, and we couldn't even say a word to each other. Usually me and him are debating about dunk contests all day. So, and, Sham God, who played in the McDonald's All-American game with these dudes, man, like, just different guys, man. And it sucked because a part of all of us got taken away with Kobe. And I tell people all the time, like, there was a certain thing about Kobe that you knew when he came to this. I tell people all the time, I've been around the arena with LeBron James. It's always packed. When KD comes to town, it's always packed. I ain't never seen a circus when Kobe comes. The circus with Kobe is different. You got to deal with the Laker fans. Now, with LeBron and Lakers, it's crazy. But, man, Kobe, man, when he came to town, I hated it as a Mavs fan because I'm like, God, dog, is everybody a Laker fan tonight? And, you couldn't boo. Like, you couldn't boo. And I mean, like, it was just like, it was greatness. And just, we appreciate him, man. And just a blessing that I was able to, not only talk with him and just shake his hand, man. That was like the greatest thing ever to me, like, to this day. So, yeah, rest in peace to Kobe, man.
So you ain't washed your hands since.
Man, look, man, at that time, I would have took about 10 photos because like people take photos. It's crazy. We got like a lot of photographers now. They'll take random photos of me with players. I wish somebody was in that tunnel during that time and would have had that photo of me and him. Like we hugged it out, man. It was the craziest thing ever. I thought I met my big brother, man. Like it was the craziest thing ever. And like it's Kobe, and to see Kobe in that different element was like it was the wildest thing ever. Like because I knew like he was a nice guy. Like I know that court stuff is a little different, like being on the court and stuff, but I didn't know he was like that personable. It caught me off guard.
Right. That's usually how it is with a lot of these players. But of course, Kobe a little bit different, but that's usually how it is. And like we talked about earlier, a lot of people don't realize that. Like we said, they just people, and you're gonna see it. What you see on the court is a little different. Everybody always talk about how LeBron a crybaby, but look, all right, well look what he's doing off the court and all this type of stuff. And then I bet it's even better when you meet him in person.
Oh man, look, man, I tell people all the time, like, I'm a huge Michael Jordan guy, but I don't like to debate the greatest of all time because it's too much criteria. And we disrespect a lot of guys from the past. I never do it. And if you ask me, I wouldn't even say Jordan or LeBron. I would probably say Kareem, just based off of history. But like I would say, LeBron, like it's weird, man, because like it's LeBron, man. Like we'll just sit there and laugh about shoes, joke around, and like a lot of my videos on my thing, you'll see him laughing and smart. He'll be all serious, like, oh, and then all of a sudden I ask a question, he'll go, oh, he'll start laughing because he know what time it is. Like they know, like when they come here, we're gonna talk kicks. I kind of lighten up everything a little bit and try not to leave it about weird stuff. Like they get asked that same question all the time. They get like imagine going to a city. So what y'all gonna do tonight? That's the first question that comes out. What you mean we're gonna do tonight? We're gonna try to win, right? Hey LeBron, you had a bad game. What's your thoughts on it? So it's the same. So that's where like we come in, guys like us. That spiced up a little bit.
Right.
Hey LeBron, I see you got those I Promise shoes on that represent your school. Let's talk about that. Oh man, let me tell you about this. Blah blah blah. Hey LeBron, I see you doing this stuff with Uninterrupted. I see the school. You see all this stuff. So just try to lighten it up a little bit, man. And like I said, LeBron is man. Look, man, that's like meeting the Beatles, man. Like LeBron's and like he had like I saw the comment somebody said about security. Like I remember one time like it was so weird because I saw LeBron in the tunnel and he goes like this. He points at me and I point at him. We do our little thing and whatever. And security guy's like he's about to tackle me until like next year. And LeBron's like, oh, chill out. It's cool. It's cool. And LeBron made him talk and like. It's weird, man. Like I've seen people literally pass out. Like I've seen fans literally faint in the crowd. I've never seen that before in my life. I heard stories about Michael Jackson, but I seen a fan faint for LeBron one time. Like, he said he was gonna faint, and LeBron walked by and took off his headband and gave it to him. And he fainted, like really fainted. This dude had a Maverick jersey on and fainted. I was like, man, you can't be no Mavs fan. No
Give me that jersey.
Yeah, man, you got a Dirk jersey on acting a fool. So. Yeah, man, LeBron's a different animal, man. Like, great human being. Great human being. At the end of the day, he came from a tough situation in life as a, teenager and kid, and now look at him, man. Like, he's probably the most popular, most famous person that you can recognize in the world. So, shout out to LeBron.
Big facts. But I know Instagram, they're going to try and cut us off, so I got to move. We're going to talk all day, I already know. But,
yeah, man.
But the next question is, who is on your Mount Rushmore of people that you want to interview that you haven't interviewed yet?
Oh, I haven't interviewed. Okay. Oh, I'm glad you asked me who interviewed.
For me to help you out, mine is number one, and don't have to be basketball. For me, is J. Cole number one. That's my favorite rapper. He's quiet. He's into the game. His sneakers just came out this year. And of course, his music. I think that'd be a good one. Number two, I got Dame. Old school WWE, got the music, of course, hoops. I think we would have a great conversation. I know we would. Number three, hey, we're gonna work on it. But number three, I got Kawhi. I would really want to show the person whatever he would want to reveal to me. I would love to see if I can make him smile, make him laugh, and all that. And then number four, I got my internet pastor, Mike Todd. He's a character. So we got this character, same beliefs, And then my outside looking in, I got Kyrie, just because
Oh
ev-
man, yeah.
everybody got there's a lot of people with the wrong perception of him. And also I know that I can see what type of person he is, and then also his connection to Kobe and all that stuff. I think that'd be a great conversation. But who's on your Mount Rushmore?
Okay. I would say, man, that's a good one. Those are good ones. Man, I'm gonna say, ooh,
Don't be trying to
that's
steal
tough.
mine either, all right?
Nah, I'm trying to think, man, because like, yeah, things change. Like when you get LeBron, like that was like LeBron was on top of the list for years. So I never got a chance to get him one on one, and I was able to do it. So, oh, interview right now. Oh, okay. Well, I would say definitely Mike Tyson.
Okay.
I think that'd be cool because then I'd be nervous because I freestyle my questions. I don't know if I freestyle the wrong thing and he might knock me out. So yeah, Mike will be fun. But I met Mike before, and Mike is a nice guy.
Yeah.
I would love to talk to him because he's intelligent too. That's one
Yeah.
thing about Mike Tyson. He's very intelligent. Number two, I would love to interview Sting, the wrestler.
Oh,
Um,
okay. I wasn't
I've
expecting
met
that.
True story. So I love like especially 90s, 80s, and 2000s wrestling. I love that.
Yeah.
I'm at a store and I met Sting, and I
Mm.
didn't know it was him. We're just talking. I had on a Mavericks like a Luca shirt, and he was like, "Oh, I love basketball and la la la." And he said he had a son that played football. Oh, okay. And I kept looking at him. He looked sort of familiar. He had on sunglasses, and I was like, "Oh, okay, no big deal." And then all of a sudden he says, "My name is Steve Borton," and I was like, "Steve
Oh,
Borton?" I'm
yeah.
like, this dude's like 6'3", 6'4". He's big, muscle, jacked. I'm like, no way. And I was like, you can't be Sting. He's a pastor out here in I believe Dallas, somewhere Grapevine, Texas. So yeah, Sting is definitely one of my. I would love to interview him. He had to be in character though. He got to put on the crow. He got to put the crow makeup
Right.
on. Got to put the coat on. He got to come with the
Yeah.
bat. He got to point the bat in my head. All that stuff. Yeah, Sting is number two. Number three, Barack Obama. I
Number
think
three.
that'll be
Okay.
cool because he likes sports, and
Yeah.
I know you know about shoes, because like I could talk basketball with him all day because I want to see who he thinks the greatest of all time. I know you're gonna probably say Jordan, Chicago guy, so but I would love to talk basketball with LeBron. I would love to talk basketball with Barack, man. I think that'll be easily one.
Right.
And number four, man, I'm gonna say Serena Williams.
Mm.
Um, because like I covered the WNBA, but it's very like one thing I wish that would change a little bit about, especially in women's sports is that we need to get the women more on TV. They have to be more willing to do interviews, and that's something that
Yeah.
I'm trying to work on because they're not as open. Like it's a little
Yeah.
weird for them. Like you don't know what you're gonna get asked and like all that stuff. But Serena, man, is like she may be the greatest athlete of all time. I know we talk
Got a
about Michael
case.
Jordan. We talk about Michael, Tiger, LeBron, Muhammad Ali. The list goes on. But I really think the greatest athlete of all time may be Serena Williams.
Got a
And
case.
Serena, she has a case, man. You're talking about a physical freak athlete. I mean,
Hmm.
LeBron James probably is the physical freak of all physical freak athletes, but like she's a physical freak and like she's amazing. The grace, the dominance. Tiger Woods obviously comes to mind with that. That'd be another one, but Serena would be amazing. You don't see too many videos where her doing interviews. Like it's just like you see these like sort of scripted like ESPN sit downs before a
Yeah.
match or whatever or after a match, but you don't really see people talking to her. So I would
Right.
say Serena. And I would say a wild card, if I had a wild card, I'm gonna go outside of sports. If I could get one, especially in music, if I had a person I can get in music right now, obviously Drake would be cool, but nobody's gonna ever get Drake because he doesn't do interviews like that. But I would say J. Cole is cool. I had a chance to meet him in Dallas. So
Mhm.
Dennis Smith Jr. is like him and Dennis
Right.
Smith Jr. are like
Mhm.
really close. So J. Cole is amazing,
Pay
amazing
your
guy. But if
bill.
I say, I would say right now, if I could pick one person to interview, because I think that like outside of Jay-Z, that would be cool. But I would say just for fun and just like really sit down and talk to him, I would say it's a tie between two rappers. I would say Rick Ross
Okay. Oh, all right.
and Freddie Gibbs.
Okay.
Like I'm a big Freddie Gibbs fan, and yeah, I'm a huge Freddie Gibbs fan. Like I collect vinyls. I probably got like every single vinyl that he's ever made,
Yeah.
like album. And then of course Kendrick Lamar, or like look, man, I ain't look. If Rihanna wants to interview, I am ready to interview Rihanna. Like, look, I'm probably gonna get slapped in the head in a minute for saying that, but hey, like, I ain't
Hey,
like, look,
settle
hey,
down.
look, man, they ain't a dude in the world. I'm telling you right now, man. We all would want to interview. Like, yeah, that would be amazing. Yeah, but those are my five, man. And like, honestly, I like being talking to everybody. Like, so you, man, like just like the work that you do, I enjoy this more than talking to like the athletes because
Right.
like it seems like it's a passion, and like
Mhm.
I feel like in a way, you remind me of like me because like the motivation, the smiling, the positivity, like you preach that, and I can tell like you ain't doing this just to be doing it. Like it's a motivation for you, and it's also learning. So yeah, man. Yeah, it's so many, but yeah, Serena. I would say Serena's number one. If I had to pick, Serena's number one. Because I tell
Okay.
you right now, if I interview Serena, I don't care what nobody say. Look, they gonna get mad at me. I know Katie and them probably looking at this, probably think he better not say it. But I promise you right now, if I interview Serena, that'd be the greatest interview I ever done. I'm saying it right now. I'm saying it right now. I interview Katie, LeBron, you name it. Every NBA player in the world. They follow me. I interview all of them. But like, if I interview Serena, there's gonna be a new case. Yeah, yeah. That would go. I would literally make that my header. Interview Serena. You know how people put on there next. I would say interview Serena Williams. Like that would be that's my goal, man.
That's your
like
Twitter
so.
bio. Interview
Yeah.
Serena Williams. That's it.
Oh man, yeah. Yeah, man. I'm all about empowerment and like
Hey, that's hey.
women in sports are it's I love what's going on right now with the women in media and like the young black men that are in media right now. I'm loving that. I'm in that generation, sort of like in between, but like now it's kind of like I'm enjoying seeing this. I love going to games and seeing not just ESPN people, seeing people that got, PerryRandle.com or
Right.
got such.com in the arena. You know what I mean? Because like I feel like we taking over. And ESPN these people see it. They
Right.
see it. Like you don't think they watching everything that you do, you'd be shocked who's watching you.
Yeah.
Trust me. I got a way of looking up people who watch you on LinkedIn. You'd be surprised who's looked at your channel or looked at your profile. I can tell you that right now. You may not can see it, but I can see it. And I know who's
Yeah.
been looking at your channel. So yeah, man, like I think it's a good thing, man. And like I said, the young people just be yourself, man. Like, yeah, you want to learn from different people, but like you got into this by being you. Don't change that. Don't sacrifice that, and just run with it.
All right. I appreciate that. I appreciate all the kind words and all the advice. But last question, which is my
Mm-hmm.
favorite. What's
Okay.
your favorite quote? I'm a big quote guy. You said everybody eats earlier, so everybody eats me. Is that the
Yeah.
quote?
Man,
I know it's
yeah,
hard to do on the spot.
I would say, yeah, I would say, well, you know what? Yeah, I would say, yeah, everybody eats, man, because at the end of the day, like it's a big table. Like, not everybody watches ESPN, but some people watch Fox Sports. Some people don't watch Fox Sports; they watch NBA TV. Some people may watch Chris Henderson, SeeHendo, but then some people watch, Perry Randle. Some
Right.
people may watch Nice Kicks. So it's a lot, man. Like we all can eat. Like let's enjoy it. There was a comedian out in Dallas that passed away. He said, "Enjoy life." That was his thing. And just seeing what's happening in the world right now, man, with this COVID and people, tragically, 2020 has been a mess, right? And people dying left and right, and you just don't know when your time. And I tell people all the time, like, be positive. There's gonna be days, man, when you're gonna be reporting and like you're gonna be like, it sucked today.
Yeah.
Trust me. It feels like that every day. Like I can wake up in the morning like, oh, I'm ready to go, and then all of a sudden midday, I'm like, oh, this is the worst day ever. And there's always a brighter side, man. Just keep going because when you give up, you lose. Like there was a point in time I didn't want to do this. I'll tell you what, 2013, 14, I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to do it. It was a rough time for me to do any of this. I didn't go to. I have season credentials. I didn't go to every game. I was missing games. I was missing opportunities. Now that I wish I got back, and I still go to game. Like now, I won't miss a game. Like you had to get me out of the arena to miss a game. So, you know, yeah, man, you know, just keep on working, man. Like you
Yes,
said,
sir.
that vision, your quote, your thing with the vision part, like you got to be able to understand it's a mindset more than importantly. Like it's one thing to say you're gonna do it, but that mindset. And like now, just to me, like I don't care about where I end up. I just want to see everybody else do good because like sometimes it's not about you because you can also be the person that sort of started a wave for other people, and then now people are able to branch off of that because I mean, Lil Wayne is like he's considered one of the greatest rappers of all time, if not the greatest. But then if you think about it, that branch that he started has brought the Futures, the Young Thugs, you know, the Drakes of the world, and like it's just like a branch. That's definitely one of my quotes. But I would say another one is everybody has a day. And what I mean by that is this: the day is gonna come when your card is called and you're gonna make an impact. It's up to you to make that impact and make that moment. Because it's gonna be that one moment, man. Like it's crazy, man. You never know who's watching. I tell you this all the time, man, because a lot of these companies and stuff, they watching us, man. They watching you. They watching me. They watching what we doing, man. So yeah, I would say that for sure.
Hey, well, I appreciate all the kind words. Well, since we got some time, so I cut out this question because they cut us off.
Mhm.
But since we got some time, we're gonna end it
Yeah.
on this. What's your starting five of your favorite shoes? So for
Ooh.
me, we ain't gonna do colorways, but for me, we're just gonna
Okay.
do mottos.
Okay.
For me, I got the Kobe 5. That's
Okay.
my one. My two
Okay.
is KD 6.
Okay.
Number 3, I got the LeBron 7.
Oh yeah, yeah.
The 4, I got the Jordan 1, just classic. I almost didn't put it in there. And then my last one, I got the Puma Dreamers by J. Cole. My
I
outside
like that.
looking in is the Dame 7 because he just
Yeah.
brought out the Nature Boy. So, what you got for me?
Jordan 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like my favorite shoe is the Shadow 1. I love that colorway. It got some significant value to it because of like personal reasons for that shoe. The Shadow 1, but Jordan 1 for sure. The LeBron 7 to me is the best LeBron outside the 8. I
Hmm.
like this new one. The 18 is real nice, but the LeBron 7, so that's number 2. Number 3 it's gonna be the Dion Diamond Turf.
Okay.
One of my look, Dion's one of my favorite athletes, and when I met him, I thought I was gonna cry because like Dion's like everything, man. Like he was a superhero to me. I thought he was the greatest thing. Like they didn't throw to his side, they didn't do nothing. So I would say the Diamond Turf is definitely number 3. Number 4, I am gonna say. So I got the LeBron 7, Jordan 1, Diamond Turf. Number 4. Ooh. You're gonna get me with this one because number 4, yeah, I gotta be careful here. Ooh, number 4.
You can have a six man.
Okay, so then number 4, I'm gonna go with the KD 4.
Okay.
Um, I can never wear his shoes because they're so narrow, and I'm
Yeah.
glad that he's starting to change that. Because KD's shoes are always so narrow. Because I swear they built the shoes for his foot. Like, he got that hockey. I make fun of it because he got that hockey stick foot. Like
Yeah.
it's long, and I'm like, man, they need to build it for us wide folks. Wide, big people. So yeah, I'm gonna say the KD 4 is definitely up there. Number 5 for sentimental value as well, because I got in trouble because of the shoe back in school days. The Gary Payton Sonic Glove.
Yeah.
I got in trouble for that shoe because I ain't gonna never forget, man. Like my grandmother told me not to wear the shoes, and I used to sneak them off and clean them. And then one day, I don't know why I did this. I thought because it was white, I can clean it with bleach. And yeah, I ruined the blue on the shoe, and my grandma almost threw me into exile for that one. So yeah, that's number 5. And oh yeah, and then the wild card for me is definitely the Kobe 4. Um, Only because like that was the first time ever in my life that I thought of basketball, especially like with Nike basketball because LeBron had some great shoes. LeBron won at this time. He had a couple of great ones, but when Kobe started dropping like that line where he was wearing low quarter, low cut shoes, it was different for us. And like now they doing this Pro Tro. Like I love
Hmm.
this a lot. They're dropping the Bruce Lee joints just coming up. I got the
Yeah.
PJ Tucker ones I love a lot. Yeah, man, I hate the fact that what happened to Kobe happened because the resale is crazy. Because I know right now, if nothing happens to Kobe, I can walk in the mall and get a pair of Kobe's with nothing.
Right.
Now I can't touch a Kobe without having to know somebody, which is a disaster anyway. But yeah, I'm gonna say that one definitely. And if I can go outside, because everything I've been saying is Nike and Jordan, but if I can pick outside of that, I'm gonna say this Puma Clyde. I like a lot. This
Yeah.
basketball shoe, the first one. Shamgar's shoe is really dope to me too because they did some personalization to it for where he's from and stuff. I like the build of it, and also Dame 7, like you said, this Dame 7 I love. Like I said, I'm not the biggest wrestling fan now, but
Right.
when you can get Ric Flair Stone
Right.
Cold Steve Austin and those guys that we all enjoy as growing up on a shoe. And that blue looks really good. I've seen it in person. I'm definitely gonna say Dame 7 is up there. And I like video game shoes because I got like a lot of video game shoes, like PlayStation stuff. So like when Paul George dropped his 2.5,
Mm-hmm.
that was dope. The gray one that lights up. I didn't get that
PlayStation.
black one. You had the PlayStation joints. The Air Force One, PlayStation Air Force One was a dope shoe. Yeah, man, it's so many shoes, man. But yeah, if I had to pick three though, if I had to go with three to take on a trip, LeBron 7, Jordan 1, and yeah, I would say multiple Jordan 1s. And LeBron 7 to me is just look, man, it's people like it, but I wonder in basketball terms of just wearing it. Because like they say you can't wear jeans with the LeBrons. I swear to God, some of them LeBron 7s, shout out to a lot of my dudes out there, like, Clark Kent, shout out to Verbal, T from Texas. These dudes got crazy. I know two of the three of those guys I mentioned, and I've seen their collections. And
Mm-hmm.
two of them travel to the games with me. And they take photos. And when they wear LeBrons, they wear stuff that you've never seen. Like one of them wore James Dean LeBron, the denim LeBrons. They wore those to a game one time. They got samples and stuff. And they weren't today, and the players are looking like, "What? How did you get this?" And guess what? They both wear like size 16.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like the crazy thing. Yeah, but I swear if I wore size 16, I would make a deal with them, but I can't. So yeah, man, LeBron. But yeah, Jordan 1 is like always gonna be iconic. You can't go wrong with Jordans. But I'm a little biased on like I like a lot of the newer Jordan silhouettes. Like people don't like the 23s. I love the Jordan 23.
Yeah.
That was one of my shoes that I spent a lot of money on, and like I said, a lot of people say Jordan 1 through 13, they quit wearing them. But I like J's. Like I like how they look. I don't know about this new one. Like I gotta see the person. He look like that Emmitt Smith shoe, that Reebok shoe. So like it literally looks like that Reebok shoe. Like when I saw that person. But yeah, I like the Jordan 29. It looked pretty cool. I'm not saying you can wear it to like get out in the public. You know what I mean? Like going to the party or somewhere with it. But you know what I'm saying? Like it looks good. But like Jordan 1s, man. It's crazy because I remember going to the outlets and getting Jordan 1s. Now you can't, you get Jordan 1 now, you doing something because like man, like
Them
I remember
box.
I hate it. And like now Jordan the mids are selling out. I remember people hated mids. Like I swear to you, dude, I was wearing mids like in the mid, like the early like 2000, like mid 2000s, somewhere around that time, mid 2000s. I was wearing mids. People were cracking on me. Now everybody wants to wear mids, and it's like, really? It took
That's
this,
Hey, that
like
show
what?
that you gotta like what you like and just be
Yeah.
cool with it.
Oh yeah, like what you like, enjoy what you enjoy. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, hey, well, I appreciate you coming on here.
Oh
Like I
man,
said,
anytime.
I apologize. Excuse Instagram for cutting us off,
Oh no,
but
man, I know the game.
I'll work on some editing. I'll put the videos together. It'll be all right. But I appreciate you taking the time uh, from your busy schedule to come sit, have a conversation with me. It meant a lot to me, and I can't wait to see our relationship grow from here. But everybody that's watching, make sure you go follow SeeHendo on all platforms, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, all of it. Go follow him because he's the truth. And I appreciate you, big dog. And I'll keep in touch and we'll work on something.
Oh no, man. Like I said, you gave me some good ideas, man. We got to work on something. Like, look, if I can get them in the right way, man, Dame is your dream. We got to make that happen somehow. I don't like I said, one day maybe, hopefully in the next year or so, when the NBA lets us back in the arenas full time. If you ever come to Dallas and Portland's in town, we got to get you in the game, man, to meet them or something. Like cover the game with me. Come to the game, sit right next to me, cover the game, and you always got that pass from me, man. So definitely anytime you're in Dallas and it's an NBA game, just let me know ahead of time, and we'll make it happen, man. Because you got to get in the arena. I tell people all the time, it's one thing to be at the game, but it's
Hmm.
another thing to be behind the scenes.
Right,
Like, when you're looking at TV and you see them walking in the tunnel with the headphones on, imagine being right there
right,
and they dapping you up. Imagine if, like, you go on my Instagram, you see the photos of me and Dane courtside talking
hmm,
all the time. Imagine just being right there next to him, sitting on the chairs, just
right.
talking about. We talk about boxing, like literally 98% of our conversation is music and boxing. That's all we
I'm,
talk about. So yeah.
that's all you tweet about, them and the Raiders. I already know he
Oh yeah,
gonna.
yeah. He's a huge boxing guy. Like I'm starting to think I need to pay attention to him because he's predicted a lot of these fights, and I'm surprised he could be rich off of boxing. He's the business knowledge watch. So yeah, man, it's just we got to get you in there, man. I can't wait. You know, like I said, maybe not. I don't know if this season how it's gonna go, December 22nd, but
All right.
I don't know if they're gonna let us in the arena with the COVID situation. But I do know by next summer, everything should be back to normal. Hopefully, you know, yeah, we back to normal, and we got to get an arena together, man, so we can make I can make that happen, man. So we got to get you in there, man. So because that's the next big thing right there. You get in the arena one time, man, it's gonna change your life. Trust me. Everything that you did is gonna be like, oh man, it's nothing. I bought so many people in the arenas, man, and they literally love the. It's different because like you know you do this. This is you're there. I'm here. But then when you get in the arena and you got Dame Lillard sitting like this, looking up, he's gonna be sitting in his chair. And he's gonna look up at you like this, and you're looking at him. And he's wanting you to ask questions to him. That's a different thing. And you got to be ready.
All right.
And don't be nervous. Oh yeah, sir. No, you be you. Be Perry Randle is. Like I've had people I bought to the games. I ain't scared of nobody. And then they get in the game and it's like, you know, they act like they never been anywhere before. So they get quiet. So yeah, man, we're gonna make it happen, man. We're gonna make some things happen pretty soon.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Well, I appreciate you, Chris, and we'll keep in touch.
All right, man. Salute, man. And everybody follow his channel, by the way. I know a lot of people from my thing is coming in. Y'all be sure to follow this guy and support him, man. And he's the next thing. Like, look, man, I'm really big on. I hope somebody comes right behind me, man, and me and several guys, so it can take the load off of us a little bit, so they can get in there and get in and take over, man. Just take over, man. Like, I hope one day that I look up, man, you verify I got the blue check and you went places that none of us went, so I can come to you and say, hey, did he really say this? Did this player say this? And you're going to be there, man. Just keep on doing what you're doing, man. Positivity, man. Like I said, you working. Just remember that.
Yes, sir. All right. I'll talk to you later.
All right, G.
All right.